Good afternoon, morning, day, and night, and welcome everyone to the Loaded Potato Podcast. I am your beautiful host for this week, Ivan, of course, and today we have a very special episode, but I'm going to introduce the other guys first. Of course, I'm with non-Alaskan mate, Brandon.
It's like 90 degrees here right now with the humidity of like 80.
Sweating my balls off right now.
Just sitting here.
And then my other ball sweating, ruin tootin' Axel.
Okay. What an intro. That was definitely an intro of all times. Thank you, Ivan.
Yeah. To be fair, it actually has been about a month since I did the intro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So y'all have more practice than me.
Fair enough.
But yeah, like I said, very special episode. We finally have another guest. This one's more special since, you know, they're in person with me. But we have a guest, John.
Hello. Yeah. Greetings.
Greetings, my fellow travelers.
Greetings, fellow travelers.
Greetings and salutations.
But yeah, how's everyone's week?
Oh yeah, how's everyone's this week? I've been doing fine. Playing more Monster Hunter. Progressing on that. Internet has not imploded yet so far. We got a bunch of things to talk about.
What was that a jab at me?
Huh? About what?
Was that a jab at me?
No.
Oh.
What?
What do you mean your internet hasn't imploded?
The government hasn't shut down. We're
very
fine.
funny, yes, because we were having problems earlier.
I was going to say, is that like
no, that was an unintentional pun. My bad.
Everything's about you, Ivan. Just because you moved.
Everything's about
Just because you moved to Alaska, you made an awesome new Alaskan friend, doesn't mean you need to gloat about everything. Come on, bro.
I can and I will.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Also, apologies for our audio. I guess video listeners too. We get the same audio. I do have the dude next to me right now, so it might be a bit more echoey. We're figuring things out.
It turns out I'm not very tech savvy when it comes to podcasts. Who knew?
It's not you. It's the tools.
It's not you. It's me.
But yeah,
it's not you. It's me.
Brant, were you doing
right?
I'd be sleepy.
You're just sleepy.
Yeah,
like
this man fucking sleeping all the time.
Well, sorry, I have work at the ass crack of dawn, so I get like 6 hours of sleep. Not even.
Right. That's fine. Will our guest friend like to introduce ourselves? Tell us all about you.
Oh yeah,
ourselves.
Yeah. So I don't know what all you guys want to know about me. So
your social security,
right.
your
your mom's credit card information.
Yeah, that.
So I'm not originally from Alaska. I've only lived up here for the last maybe 3-4 years. I'm originally from Michigan, but it's been a hell of a journey. It's been the process of me moving up here is actually a pretty crazy story in itself. But that's about it. Just
a guy here. You know,
just a guy being a dude
trying to survive in Alaska as best as he can.
Sure. That's what's up.
Because these winters suck, and the summers suck too. But it is what it is.
I just moved here.
What are the average highs in the summer?
So it depends. So this particular summer, it didn't really get higher than maybe 70, 72 degrees. I've been up here in summers that have been like 80, 85-ish, and those are really hot summers.
I thought because I did a lot of research before I moved up here in Alaska. Oh, also if y'all watchers listeners forgot to watch last episode, I moved to Alaska.
Yeah, very
clearly
cool.
Just a slight change.
Just a slight change, 4,500 miles. But when I did a bunch of research, I thought it was I thought they said that like Alaska is like one of the few states that hasn't gone above like 80 degrees.
No, in the summers. So not this previous summer that we're just now leaving, but the summer beforehand and the one before that, the median temperature throughout the entire summer was like 82, 83 degrees. The summer before that, it was probably close to 90 degrees. It was stupid hot.
What?
Oh yeah.
That's like an
I don't
average day
know.
for us.
Yeah.
Right. Well, it's a
Yeah.
different kind of heat because we don't have a lot of moisture in our air. Just because everything kind of settles a little bit more.
I mean, so it's more closely related to like California, probably. 'Cause
Yeah.
This is also dry out there.
So
Maybe
dry
Texas.
air.
Yeah, it's a very
Yeah.
dry. It's a very
Oh.
dry winter and a very dry summer heat.
My body still hasn't really fully adapted to the dryness here. I mean, okay, so it's not completely dry. Like it still gets humid here. Especially when it rains a lot.
Yeah.
I want to say it gets somewhat humid.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know why, but my throat is like it's been so like dry. I might need to get it checked out or something. I don't know.
I know a
that-
great otorhinolaryngologist. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not. It's
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. It's been weird. But yeah.
But yeah, so the winters are brutal. If you get like bad nosebleeds, so I got nosebleeds when I was a kid.
Same.
Um,
Same.
if you had them growing up, you're gonna get them tenfold up here.
Oh god damn it.
Because the air is just so dry all the time. It might be smart to get a humidifier for your guys' place.
Yeah.
Did have a humidifier at one
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, it's probably a smart choice to get that because it'll save your nose, and save your throat.
Wait, so like when you're out and about in the winter,
It hurts to breathe sometimes.
so
if it
is
gets
it
too cold.
possible to
Really?
get like some kind of thing to cover your face or whatever?
I think they call those scarves.
Okay, well, people wear scarves here then.
Yes, I have two in my closet right now.
Okay. No,
But
just-
I have a natural scarf.
No,
So
no. What about the mask that people use for robberies?
Yeah, ski masks.
Ski masks, yeah.
If you go snow machining, you have to wear those.
Yeah.
You have to.
People wear ski masks just out and about here. You know?
Not regularly, no. But
I'll be one of those weirdos.
So usually most men up in Alaska usually sport beards. So it helps with the windburn up here, and it helps with insulation during the wintertime.
Yeah.
So usually you don't see a lot of dudes with like the thick beards wearing a scarf, usually just to kind of protect their neck a little bit. But
Okay.
most of the time women are wearing like earmuffs and really thick hats. Their coats are pulled up all the way up.
So I gotta be like one of the women's.
All you can see is just eyes blinking. So
Just like the Middle Eastern women. I show my
Yeah.
ankles.
Fully
Yeah,
cover
right.
yourself.
Do you practice Muslim or are you just cold?
That's
Well, that's interesting to learn about. Yeah. 'Cause that is-
Alaska it's one of the best states to live in, but it's also one of the most grueling states to live
Yeah.
in.
dude. I've found out a lot of stuff recently about Alaska,
Mhm.
Mm.
and yeah, I don't want to leave. There's no state income tax, by the way.
Okay.
No sales tax. I found that out. I don't know why. I've almost been here for about a month, and I just found out there's no sales tax.
There are designated city taxes for designated cities through Alaska, but there's only like one or two. of those.
Okay, yeah, because like when we went to go get pizza, or whatever, it was like $31 or whatever. I mean, it was a big pizza. Makes sense. And we had a lot of toppings, but yeah, it was $31. We went to go pay. It was just $31. That is so nice.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, so Alaska doesn't have any sales tax. Alaska also, with their registrations, the way that they work for vehicles. So there are two districts of Alaska. There is the municipality of Anchorage, which exists like of Anchorage, and then it's suburb and suburb and then suburb. It's kind of like a pyramid. And then right at Eklutna, Alaska, is stops the municipality. And then outside of that is all state and federal based stuff.
Mhm.
And for registrations of vehicles in those designated areas, you only have to register your vehicle one time. You can
Hmm.
get what's called the Z tag. And
so fucking nice, dude.
it's like $200. It's like $200 and you never have to register your vehicle again.
That
Wow.
is-
That's
Write that down. Write
nuts.
that down. Write that down.
Yeah, right. In the municipality, though, it's every 2 years. You have to register your vehicle. And it's like $50. I think.
Even the 2 years is nice because everywhere I've been, it's always just you have to renew it every year.
And Alaska is a no-fault state, so insurance is dirt cheap up here, too.
Nice.
Did that convince y'all yet?
See, I'm trying. I just need to find a job. Anybody
See,
hiring?
I'm
I'll put
sorry.
help wanted posters up.
I can't move anywhere that doesn't have humidity. I literally just dry up like a sardine. Like
Yeah,
I
I
hear that.
can't.
Also, if you
that's
don't,
me.
but if you're a night owl, this is the best place to be, especially
Oh, well.
in the winter.
There you go, Axel.
well, yeah,
Well,
that's one thing. Yeah.
You're up at like 4 a.m.
So
playing Monster Hunter.
in the wintertime, 4 a.m. here feels the same as like 2 p.m. because it's the same darkness level in the winter.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I was told like in the winter or whatever, like the sunrise will be at like 10 or 11 and then it'll set at like 2 or 3.
Yep. Yep.
Like,
and then in the summer it doesn't even go down. It actually will circulate with the sky.
You know, I actually noticed that like now because I was I don't know, I was just working here, you know, it was noon, by the way. It was noon. Okay, for everyone who's not in Alaska, you know, fucking noon.
High noon.
Yeah, the sky's the sun's above you. No, it was fucking noon. The sun was like just getting over the horizon, like over the mountains, whatever. It's like at a 45-degree angle. And then as the time goes by, it's not going over you. It just went around.
Yeah, it
Bring
like
it around
was weird.
town.
yeah, it like
Does that
dips
ever get
up
old?
all over the horizon and then dips down.
Seeing that?
What do you mean get old? Oh, like seeing the sun like that? Well, it's weird
Yeah.
for me right now. But what about you?
So
I guess you're just used to it, yeah? Or...
you kind of get used to it. So there is a definite shift in change in mood. In the wintertime, everybody's depressed.
Let's go.
Either depressed,
Let's go.
drunk,
Let's go.
or on drugs.
Let's go.
In the summertime, everybody's either drunk, on drugs, or like on drugs because everybody calls it the crack sun because everybody's awake because melatonin in the brain actually requires, so our internal clocks require light. So for the sun going up and down actually will cause an internal alarm in our brains to release melatonin. That's what makes us sleepy. That's why we're always relatively tired at night if our REM cycles and our sleep cycles are correct. When our melatonin starts kicking in, when the sun starts going down, what'll end up happening is that we'll start getting sleepy. Well, in the summertime, when the sun doesn't set, those melatonins don't actually have a moment to produce. So we're constantly awake. You'll see people asleep for like days in the winter, and then you'll see people awake for days in the summer. Like there was a moment where I was awake from like 3:30 in the morning. It was daylight out, and I was awake until 4:30 the next morning, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get some sleep. You just can't tell.
I don't know
That's
if
crazy.
you mentioned this, but because he did a lot of sciencey words, his occupation.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to say it, but
No, it's fine. So I'm a medical assistant. I studied medicine for about 10 years.
yeah.
I was potentially going to be testing to get my MCAT, to get my MD, and my PhD.
That's awesome.
So he's a smart guy, especially in science, dude. Like you didn't notice that he's just throwing all this sciencey stuff and like.
Well, I mean, I understood. I'm not sure if you guys
Science
understood
rules.
Yeah. Well, actually, you kind of went to school for some science
it.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I, for a bit, but not too much. I
Or like-
I like
Or like
science a
medical.
lot.
Well, it's medical stuff.
Yeah, so
not science, but yeah, medical stuff.
when I was in college, I studied medicine specifically. I was in the process of going through pre-med to get into medical school to go do either thoracic surgery or neurosurgery or neurology. And then my guidance, my counselor basically said that I needed to minor in something as well. So I was minoring in theoretical astrophysics.
That's what's up.
That's
So
awesome.
you look at sky.
So I studied like the
Big
proofs and
Dipper.
equations of like black holes.
What's your
dark
zodiac
matter,
sign?
and
What's your zodiac sign?
No, he studies the poop jar.
I'm an asparagus.
so, but yeah, those were the two things that I was studying in school. And
Nice.
I dabbled in some literature and stuff like that. So I've always been a scholar by nature and always enjoyed learning. So
Yeah.
it's just I kind of shifted from book learning to physical learning when I moved up here. Because like I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Jeremiah Johnson before.
I saw like the first 10 minutes.
That
No.
would be a no from me.
It's an old movie.
Yeah, it's older.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Watching that movie when I was a kid kind of gave me this like legendary perspective on what Alaska is. And I've always wanted to experience it. So I came up here a couple different times on vacation and I absolutely loved it. And then for a short period of time, I kind of felt like I was getting stuck back where I was originally living. And I wanted to go on an adventure. And I had Siri pick 2 states on my phone. It picked North Carolina, it picked Tennessee, and it picked Alaska. and I flipped a coin. It landed on heads, which was Alaska, and I bought a plane ticket 15 minutes later and moved up here 3 days later.
Wow.
Yeah, there's not much in Tennessee.
Yeah,
so you picked like a better state.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it was all chance.
Imagine letting Siri pick your life. No, you're like deciding.
It was pretty nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
Jesus, a coin flip and Siri. Fuck.
Right, and to be completely honest with you, it was completely random. Like, I had no intentions of leaving Michigan in any way since. I had the idea of leaving, but I didn't know I was going to be leaving that soon. And I literally had a friend at the time literally go, "Why don't you just do it right now?" Bet.
Fucking bet.
Let's do it.
And I was literally sitting at dinner. I even remember where we were at. We were sitting at dinner in a local restaurant in Michigan called Wings, Etc. I don't think they're in business anymore. And I literally was sitting at the bar, and I'm like, all right, bet. Let's do this. So literally picked everything right there, and I bought the plane ticket sitting at the table. And I moved out of Michigan 3 days later. I sold everything else I had. I packed a singular bag and literally got on the plane. I checked one bag, and that was it. Didn't even have a carry-on.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
See, at that
Boots
point,
hit the ground up here, and I wonder what I'm going to do now.
yeah, because like
Anyway.
at least with Ivan, like he had like a whole like at least like a month in advance of like getting stuff prepared.
Yeah,
With you,
but
you
even
just like
then, everything was so rushed because we weren't able to like we literally couldn't pack anything until the last
week.
No, not even week. It was only like 4 days.
Well, yeah, I was there for
Not
2 of
even.
them, so
Yeah, and like that's when I got the U-Haul stuff, and like we had only a few days because I was still working at the time, and yeah, it was. I mean, we did technically have a month. It was crazy.
I didn't even turn in my 2 weeks of my old job. I literally just left.
Yeah.
boss calls you like, "Hey, where are you?" Oh, yeah, I'm in Alaska.
I moved to Alaska.
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Right now, signal's coding out.
Oh yeah, that was the joke from the last episode. It was like so
Yeah,
cold,
well, that's
so
just
cold.
Man's reusing old jokes. But anyways, man, that's you know a lot about Alaska. You must have some crazy stories to talk about as well.
It is kind of crazy how
Kinda
much you know about
forced
this
it.
place, even though you've only been here for, would you say?
3-4 years, yeah.
Yeah.
So I do have some pretty wild stories. So I have an uncle that's lived up here since like 96, I think. And I spend a significant amount of time with him, learning and picking his brain as much as possible. So he's usually my primary source of information, just because he's been up here for so long. He's been up here for so long, he's known 2 generations of fish and game law enforcement.
Wow.
Which is quite of an interesting couple stories.
Well, actually, now it's funny that you mentioned that. I found this out last night. We were just chilling here and playing. What was that game called? Farkle. Yeah, that's a fun game. If y'all don't know about Farkle, learn it. It is addicting. Anyway, but I've a fun fact that I learned was the fishing game in Alaska is no fucking joke. Like they have like more power than the cops here.
State police. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Their jurisdiction. They have seniority and higher jurisdiction than most state police up here.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
They really don't fuck around with the whole like hunting and fishing.
Have you noticed that there's no billboards in Alaska?
I did notice that too.
Yeah, so that's actually a part of a legislation that Anchorage passed because people come up here they spend thousands of dollars to come up here and visit and vacation to see the views. Alaska actually has a law stating that it's illegal to have a sign or a billboard that is higher than a certain amount that will obstruct the views in the mountains.
Nice.
Wow.
Actually, didn't you say there was something similar like in South Carolina or Georgia as well?
Not in South Carolina, because we have the south of the border signs like every other like mile. So
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But I thought there was something similar in Georgia where you can't have like a billboard higher than like a tree or something like that, or no.
There
I
might
don't
be
know.
something like that.
I thought we had something similar. It's to like no. It is in South Carolina, but it's not about billboards. It's about certain things because I know like Hilton Head Island, it's like to preserve the nature of things. Like they don't want anything that's like too out of there or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That seems like something they would do there. on
A
the
little
island.
off topic.
Yeah.
You got to show them the Sombrero Tower from south of the
Oh
border.
yeah.
Oh, from south of the border. Yeah, we can
Down
look
the
that
sombrero.
up.
But
I can look it up now.
but yeah, there's a lot of weird, cool laws up here.
Yeah.
Like
Anything that stand out.
So if you're an Alaskan resident for more than 2 years, you get a free moose tag for harvest. They just give you a tag. They're like, here you go. Thanks for staying in Alaska.
They also pay you for living in Alaska.
Yeah.
But you have to be here for 1 or 2 years, whatever.
Yep. So it's called the PFD, or the Share the Wealth program. So like back a couple to like 20 years ago, Alaska signed legislation, since the oil refineries and the oil production facilities up here are all done on state land. The state will actually divvy that money to the populace.
Yeah.
So every Alaskan resident who is either born here or is an Alaskan resident receives
This year it's like 1,300.
Yeah, anywhere between 12 to 3,000 every year.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Apparently, Alaskans got a shit ton of money last year.
Yeah, like almost $3,600.
Yeah,
if I
because
remember
it
correctly.
was on top of like all the COVID stuff and some other
So
shit.
I actually got shafted out of my PFD this year. I actually didn't
Really?
get it.
What?
Yeah, I was pissed.
Well, I thought y'all didn't get the PFD just yet.
Well, no, it hit everybody's bank accounts like 2 days ago.
Oh,
Yesterday.
okay.
So I got shafted out of mine because even though I'm an Alaskan resident and I've been an Alaskan resident for the allotted amount of time, Alaskan communication sucks. Their state programs suck when they communicate with their populace. For instance, when you have to apply for the PFD every year, even if you've received it in the past, you have like an account that you apply for, and then they just continually just give it to you. And you do that so you can update your like mailing address, your physical address, and any bank account information as needed. But so with me, what ended up happening is because this was supposed to be the first year I got my PFD, they didn't tell me that I needed to mail in my original birth certificate to prove that I'm
mail in.
Yeah, and
What?
when I found that out, I'm like, hell no, I'm not mailing in my original birth certificate. So I currently am trying to set up an appointment to go into the Anchorage office to show them my birth certificate.
Mhm.
And be like, this is my real birth certificate. Here's my license. Here's my lease. Like, here's all the allotted information you need, so that I don't have to physically mail in my birth certificate.
Yeah.
And because of that, because they didn't tell me this, I actually wasn't even told any of this information until 4 days before the PFD was supposed to get released. And the only reason why I found out about it was because someone mentioned it in passing. And I'm like, what? And I ended up looking it up. They told me the website and to type everything in, and sure as shit, there it was. Non-qualifying, no birth certificate on file. No, at no point did anybody tell me or contact me.
Nice.
So I got
Wow.
screwed out of $1,300. But it's fine. I mean, my state of my survival wasn't dependent on it. It was going to be nice to have that extra
Oh yeah, no,
$1,300.
$1,300.
It's like second tax
But
season.
I'm not losing sleep over it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean that can pay for rent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Or
that's
get
free-
you a new
free-
video
free a
game.
month. That's all.
right?
Do you know how much mac and cheese I can buy for $1,300?
A lot.
Well, I don't know out in Alaska. So
That's still like under $1. I want to
So
say.
it evens out. The sales tax versus the cost of the products kind of evens things out a little bit.
Do it though.
Kind of. Have you like seen how expensive shit is up
Yeah,
here?
gas is. Oh, jeez.
Gas right now is $4.70 a gallon.
Oh, well, the gas station here, I think it was like $4.50. Or did they raise prices?
I don't know.
I think the
Last
gas
I knew.
station down the street from me is like $3.19. So
Yeah, like I miss cheaper gas. Like, dude, literally.
Thanks for rubbing it in.
Yeah, no,
Welcome.
filling up my car or whatever. I mean, it's a gas guzzler, but half a tank, right? I've been filling up every time it reaches half a tank. It's like $50.
Yep.
So it's gonna take basically over $100 when before it only took like 60.
Right.
At
Or
least you're not
60, 70.
California.
so you need a
At
car
like
like
$6
mine.
a
California's
gallon.
even worse, dude.
Yeah.
They're like almost $6. I want to say.
Yeah.
You know, because of the cost of fuel up here, a lot of like richer people in Anchorage actually have converted to electric, and you see a lot more. You see
I
a
saw a
lot
lot of
more
Teslas.
Teslas up here
Yeah,
than you think.
I did. Oh yeah, I was surprised by the amount of Teslas. Oh, I saw the Rivian.
Yeah.
I saw a Rivian the other day. That was crazy. I saved it on my dash cam.
So there's 2 sets of vehicles that everybody drives. So there is the winter beaters with heaters that everybody drives because no one gives a shit about those. They literally beat the fuck out of them whenever they want.
Yeah.
And they keep their studded tires on them like year round. And then everybody has their nice summer vehicle that they drive. You'll see Audis, you'll see Porsches, you'll see Lamborghinis, McLaren. I saw a McLaren last year.
McLaren's are so nice.
I know. You'll see some of the nicest supercars ever. They actually have a supercar club that's on the other side of Willow, because on the other side of Willow is like one of the longest stretches of road that you can have. It's like paved.
That's the road going to Fairbanks, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And they have a supercar club where everybody kind of switches keys around and they literally just go as fast as they can. And the cops are like, we can't catch them.
So we're just going to let them go.
So they have a Japan law that like if they go at a certain speed, they can't catch them. So
I just think the cops just don't care.
Yeah. It's also common sense. If you can't catch up to them, you can't.
Well, not only that, but the only thing that it's actually going to be putting them in danger is if they hit a moose. And if you hit a moose,
I was about to
40,
say.
you're going to die. So
imagine going like 120 and hitting a moose.
Vaporize you and the moose.
Just powder, fucking puff of smoke.
like, oh, pretty casino.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, I can talk about fish and game. I can talk about pretty much any questions you guys have about Alaska. I can probably
It's
answer.
crazy.
Yeah.
We could probably save these like for another future episode. But the one thing
we should have you on for another one.
Yeah,
continue talking.
Totally down.
But I think the one thing that I was talking about is that like you're a veteran in the realm of D&D.
Yeah, that's the big thing. A huge reason why I wanted you to come on here.
Yeah.
So
sorry, rambling.
No. I fucking
Interesting
love
to
it.
learn.
Yeah. No. So yeah, switching gears over to D&D. It was kind of funny when I forgot where it was. I think we were shooting bow outside, whatever, and I forgot. I think we just randomly said D&D or something like that. And I found out this guy, or I guess he found out that I was a DM. Because I DM most of the time. I play player a little bit. But this is a veteran DM.
About 8 to 10 years, yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So I've played a lot. I've only played one campaign. All of the other campaigns I've ever played, I've always.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's kind of like with me. I like only did players twice.
Yeah, the last time was when I DM'd. So.
Yeah, that was when I was finally a player again. And funny enough, I'm sure y'all know, but we have our own D&D group, and I'm the DM for this one. Yeah, he got so excited when he found out that I was a DM.
So I've been cooking up characters like crazy, trying to make these weird combinations that are like oddly strong. I made this one character that. So the last group that I was actually DMing. One of the players wanted to learn how to DM, so I was kind of running a mock session with them, trying to kind of teach them the premise of the game. They would run a session, I'd run the next one, kind of fixing things in the story that they didn't get quite right because of the rules and stuff. So I would kind of fix things and kind of reshape it, and then they would continue with the story. And because of that, I actually got to make one of the characters that I had been cooking up. And one of them, it was a barbarian monk subclass, or it was a barbarian monk, a Goliath barbarian monk.
Damn.
It was broken. Let's just go with it was broken. The way I designed it, so it started at level 3 was the starting level for the campaign, and then I think it went up to 8. I think I can't remember what campaign it was. It was a Critical Role one. But so I put 2 levels into monk and 1 level into barbarian. And then when I leveled one more time, I put the 3rd level into the monk, and then if I leveled up 2 more times with the barbarian, I would have been absolutely broken.
Yeah.
So I forget exactly what it was, but it's called the Touch of Death monk. Basically, death kind of surrounds you. I can look it up what it is real quick, but every single time you land a killing blow on an enemy, you heal by 4 points.
Yeah,
What?
that was the craziest part is the healing.
It's in Xanthar's Guide to Everything or Tasha's Cauldron. I can't remember which one it is in, but it's in one of those 2 books. So it's actually canon, or it's actually part of the actual comic, or the actual line of D&D. It's in D&D 5e. It's written by D&D. So
Yeah.
and then the barbarian, I was going to take the archetype beast, and I was going to make claws. I was going to pick claws as my archetype. So basically, I would be rolling a D10 for damage.
Yeah.
Both with the left and right hand for the monk. And then if I was enraged, I then would get an additional attacks. And then if I spent a key point, which is not specified that you can't spend key points while raged, you can do Fury of Blows, which gives you another 2 strikes. And in Fury of Blows, and the way that I designed it, my monk moved 40 feet per turn.
Jesus Christ.
What?
So I literally, and I designed it to where I would debuff my I'm having a brain fart. Initiative. My initiative was abnormally low. I designed it to be abnormally low, so I would go last, so that I could go through and just tic-tac off of all of the different enemies that had taken damage and kill them and heal. And those heals do stack.
Oh, so you can go above your
Wow.
max.
They can go above your max.
Damn.
And they stay until a long rest.
Wow.
Fucking broken, dude.
That's a character and a half. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all can tell, but he knows
yeah,
a
yeah.
shit ton about the D&D
Yeah.
stuff.
I also cooked up one it's a Turtle Druid Circle of Rot.
Mm.
This is something I wanted.
Damn.
I also want to do a Turtle Monk, which I think would be really cool. So monks can't be, so there's a specific archetype or a specific trait that doesn't allow monks to move. They can't be knocked prone. And turtles have the ability to retract into their shells and make their AC 25.
Oh,
And you can literally pick them up and move them around. So because of monk can't be knocked down, if I retract, basically I'm balancing on my shell, and I can use a bonus action to pop out of my shell.
What?
That's pretty
for
funny.
show or like?
No, it's a protective measure, and I can technically use retract as a short rest and roll a hit dice.
What the fuck?
See, I'm learning so much more from this.
Yeah,
This is-
see, I'm a casual player.
I've learned
So,
so
like-
much. So, because of this the D&D stuff, when I'm the DM, and of course, he has a lot of experience of being a DM and whatever, and I've already learned so much doing the campaign that we're on right now. God damn.
That's awesome.
Could be a little nerve-wracking because I know he knows a lot, so I'm
No,
like,
it's not.
I'm gonna mess up.
Actually,
I've sadly done that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, like one thing that I found out, which we've never done in any of our games, or our campaign, which I guess makes total sense, is that when it comes to getting into a fight or whatever, you actually have to have your shit equipped. And if you don't, like, let's say you were just walking, you don't have your weapons or whatever equipped. If, battle happens, you have to take an actual full turn to ready your weapons.
Mhm.
that
So
actually,
a lot of the times,
that actually makes a lot
it
more
makes
sense.
sense. Yeah.
Unless it's a finesse weapon. If it's a finesse
Yeah.
weapon, you can use a bonus action to draw the weapon.
Yeah.
But like in actual so I
Or
believe
even the shields.
So shields act kind of weird. So you can use a bonus action to pull your shield out, but it only gives you a +1. You have to use a full turn to actually buckle the shield to your arm to get the full +2.
Yeah. So in one turn, you can't just ready your weapon and ready your shield.
No. You can use a bonus action to ready your shield,
Yeah.
and you can use your turn to draw your weapon. So you can increase your AC by 1, and you can ready your weapon in that turn.
Mhm.
But you have to wait a full turn before you can start making any attacks. And that's not even to buckle your shield.
Yeah.
You have to do that as a completely separate action. So it's recommended by most paladins to actually leave your shield on all the time. Kite
Yeah.
shields are almost completely useless at this point. It's better to be using actual like rapier bucklers, because they actually have still the +2 modifier, and you don't actually have to strap those into your arm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because when we had that one fight or whatever, like almost everyone didn't have their weapons ready
Except for me.
except for him, and then also our ranger, which he said he always has his bow ready or whatever. But yeah, everyone had to ready their weapons and shit, and that gave the creatures they can start attacking.
It makes surprise attacks and ambushes that much more strong.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. But I don't know, just for the viewers, if I don't know, Axel, Brandon, you want to talk about your experience in DnD?
Other than me being a funny rogue and stealthing everywhere, no, not really.
Yeah,
I mean, we're all relatively still new-ish.
Yeah, attempt to stealth in like 2 pairs of clothing.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we had the funniest fucking shit ever. And that's what I love about D&D is that like you can have the craziest shit happen, and like I don't know, it's just
fun.
a good time.
Well, hold on, like Axel, explain to him like what we're talking about, unless I've already talked to him about it.
Oh, like we were like engaged in combat, right? And I'm not too like well versed in D&D. All I know is the rogue, really. So I like going into stealth and using a stealth attack with my bow.
What was your race?
Halfling.
You're a halfling.
Heck yeah. Okay, halflings are broken as rogues. You will never roll a 1 ever.
Yeah, that's what I like, and it's just pretty nuts. So I was like a halfling stealth. I was a halfling rogue, and I was like, okay, well, I like doing stealth, and then getting that bonus damage right from a sneak attack. So I tried to like think of like, okay, where can I go in stealth, right? So I saw a pile of clothes on the map that we were using. I'm like, I'm gonna dive into that and try to stealth. It worked. It was pretty funny. And then
did you get like a nat 20?
No,
he
rolled like an 18, but it's like a +3 modifier.
That was my +3 in the proficiency or whatever. And it worked. It was pretty funny.
The entire table just fucking going crazy with that.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
No, because like
you fucking stuff.
No, because the thing was too is that like it was like a jail cell area. So there was like women in the jail cell, the pile of clothes in front of the doors, and then like the enemy. He just dives into like 2 articles of clothing. He's just gone.
Oh, dude, that's so funny.
Yeah, he pops back out with like a woman's bra on top of his head. But didn't you also like
arrow bitch?
You stealth behind like our tall warrior guy.
Yeah, it is dumb stuff.
Yeah. And then there was another time where our other friend was a blood hunter from the Critical Role class. Oh, yeah. But he took that so seriously, he was just always bloody the entire time.
Yeah, he was always covered in blood.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like
and stuff in bushes.
Yeah, that's
pretty funny.
I love D&D.
Yes,
it's so fun.
Yeah,
I'm really happy that we were able to find like, and also. It kind of sucks that a lot of times we kind of just fizzle out on all of our campaigns because I never actually finished a campaign before. We always get like, I forgot how many sessions in, but I mean, it's all about the people's schedules. Like, stuff changes and some people can't join. They were like, well, we can't really like do it without them. So we gotta like postpone, and
the logistics of things are what kills campaigns.
Yeah. So I hope we can actually finish this campaign.
Well, the cool thing about it being winter or coming to be winter, we're not going to want to do jack shit because it's going to be really, really. This winter's going to suck because it's going to be a really snowy one. Mm-hmm. But because we all kind of relatively live in the same area, it won't be that bad for us to like all get together one night.
Yeah, they're like, we're not fucking doing shit. Let's just play D&D.
Yeah. What's the longest campaigns or what's the longest sessions you guys have ever done?
I think it was the one we did at 9 Line, Ivan.
Yeah, that was at like least what, 6 hours,
like,
7,
like 6 sessions, like all like 5 hours each, or something like that.
Something like that.
What's the longest session that you guys have done?
Well, I think it was like so we usually start around 11, and then we didn't stop until it was like 5 or 6.
So 7 hours.
6. Yeah, so 7 hours. 7 hours.
Yeah. So the campaign that I just got done doing about a year ago, I ran that campaign. It was Icewind Dale. I was doing the Icewind Dale, which has a lot more environmental stuff in it than you can possibly think of because of the cold and all the different effects that the cold has, and you have to have 2 different sets of clothes and the dry versus wet. It was hard to keep track of, and I was trying to keep it as relatively regimented as possible because it was a long session to begin with, or a long campaign. and we would do every Sunday from 9:30, 10 o'clock until 7 o'clock.
Wow.
And I did that every Sunday for almost a year.
That's what's up.
Jesus.
So that was unbelievably grueling.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a great Dungeons and Dragons. Some of the weirdest shit happened during that session. One guy was what was he? Was it tiefling? He was a tiefling bard, I think. And he fucked everything. Not everyone. Everything.
Everything.
He fucked a boat once and critical failed and got a splinter up his dick.
Oh.
Yo, look at that tree. Let's see.
The tree is calling me.
Yeah,
It's calling me.
It's just that kind of fun, random stuff that's just completely off the wall. That's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like the session that you were running the other day. So in Ivan's session that I'm playing a barbarian Goliath because it felt like we needed a character that could balance damage and also tank as well, so that I could take the blunt force of a lot of damage, so everybody's characters can kind of survive.
And you have.
Yeah, but we're gonna move past that. There was a moment where we had to try to get coin from a person that we were trying to transport a cart to.
Oh.
And normally all you do is just take the money and go. I continued to basically torture the guy. I picked him up and slammed him into his own building, trying to question him for stuff. And our halfling rogue who's in the group pickpocketed.
Yeah, pickpocket.
Oh my God.
While I'm like shaking him down.
Where's the mustard?
Yeah,
Pretty funny.
yeah, dude, that poor guy.
Oh, that poor bastard. Yeah.
Wait, speaking of D&D a little bit, well, it's not really D&D, but it's sort of related. You know about Baldur's Gate 3?
It is.
Have you
D&D.
played it? Yeah.
So I have not. It's on my games to play.
Yeah.
So right now, the games that I have set up to play are going to be the new Spider-Man that comes out on the 19th, I think.
20th.
20, thank you. Well, it's technically the 19th year because we're 4 hours behind. It actually will release on the 19th.
Oh, does it release at the same time?
Yeah. It's
wow.
Universal. So movies come out a complete day earlier.
Ooh.
Games
Let's
come out a day
go.
earlier.
Of
Time
course.
travel.
But so the new Spider-Man's on my list of games to play because I absolutely love the first one.
I
Absolutely loved
platinum Miles Morales and the other one. I had to do
Yeah,
it.
it's
I had
so
to do it 4 times because like my first account got banned.
You
Imagine.
platinumed 4 times?
Yeah, because my first account got banned.
Holy
Imagine.
crap.
Yeah,
That's intense.
he's crazy. with
Okay,
this
so
stuff.
you're just excited for the second one as much as
Oh,
I am,
yeah.
then. Probably even more so.
Oh, he's getting stuff.
You got
Yeah.
the controller.
Yeah.
Whipping
That's
out
awesome.
the controller.
So do you think Venom's going to be a playable character in this game? Do you think?
There's a
I hope so. Because that would be awesome.
it's a small possibility. It'd be like a shitty MJ mission, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, right. Honestly, yeah. But if I can't eat someone in the game, that's a loss for me.
L game.
You can't even knock people off the building and die. They just attach to the walls. Like, what makes you think you can eat them?
Oh, they Batman. The Batman gamed them.
Yeah.
What do you think of the wingsuit dynamic that's going to be in it?
I'm interested to see because I do love the transversal system of the games. It's actually so realistic because especially like if you're going from like the city to like the park, like you're like 20 feet up in the air, then like you got to go down to tree level to actually start swinging, which I love because like, it just gives you a more dynamic. It would be interesting to see how that's going to play into effects because like. One thing I did hate was like the speedball challenges and like the Taskmaster challenges.
Yeah, those sucked. I hated those.
Yeah,
Those were definitely the most grueling thing for sure.
yeah, but I am interested to see. I have hope for it, but then again, 19 inches of venom. What can I say?
Oh my God. When I saw that, I'm like, bro, what are you tweeting? What? Come on. But yeah, I don't have much opinions on that type of game because I've never played them.
So
they seem pretty cool.
Yeah, Spider-Man and what else?
Yeah, what else? You got
Baldur's Gate is on my list of games to play.
I really want to play. I mean, I kind of want to just wait until Divinity Original Sin comes out.
I have Baldur's Gate 3, so Pretty
Oh,
fun.
have you played it yet?
Yeah, I have it on PC and I'm also duoing on my console right now too. So
How is it? I hear it's a little goofy.
I mean, have you played Divinity before?
A long time ago.
Okay. I mean, it's basically a new version of Divinity.
Right.
But it's based off. I mean, Baldur's Gate is from the D&D universe.
it's interesting to get used to, especially if some people, because there's different play styles. There's like brute force go, and then there's people who actually look around and like interact with everything. I don't want to say it enforces you to look around, but if that's your play style, it benefits you a lot.
Cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but then like with like the class setups and everything, how that works as well. I keep forgetting that it's D&D like. So I used up all my spell slots in like the first fight, and I couldn't use any of my spells. And I was like, I was a sorcerer, tiefling sorcerer. So I'm like, okay, come on.
Okay, so here's a question about kind of a little bit of a segue to D&D. I'm sorry, I don't mean to.
No, you're all good.
No, you're good. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about tiefling paladins?
Don't know enough to know enough.
Opinion?
But I think
I don't know enough info on the game to understand really what.
Yeah, this demonic looking beast as like as a holy fucking person, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it doesn't make any sense. So I had a player that wanted really badly to play tiefling paladin, and I'm sitting there going, that doesn't work. Like, even if the dynamics of everything was good, it doesn't physically work because you're playing a devil spawn or a hell spawn as a holy character. Like, literally just holding that symbol should technically. So it's like I don't know. So I was just curious to see if you guys had any thoughts on it, because one of the players for your campaign.
Oh well, okay.
Joe wanted.
Oh yeah.
And I told him no. I told him like straight up. Yeah, I kind of stepped in at that point. I said no.
Okay.
Because they're too complicated to even think about playing. And then not only that, but the dynamic is also off. We already have a tiefling in the group. On top of that, we have a tiefling and a paladin, completely two separate characters in the game. So there should be conflict of interests there, even from a character development standpoint.
I to be fair, I think they don't even know. Because they're all very So they probably don't know that there needs to be some kind of dynamic. But
well, that's
sorry, okay. So
no, it's fine. It's just that's a kind of an interesting thing to talk about, because like in normal fantasy, like this is not in D&D, like in the rules, like in the actual world, like how it would work. Like the idea of a unholy creature trying to become holy, I like the idea of that, like personally, because you know they're like
reforming.
Yeah, not like reforming, but like
typical anime plot.
It seems kind of cool, you know, like trying to do good.
I can get that. You kind of get like a Hellboy.
I like the idea, but like exactly, like Hellboy. Like
I love Hellboy.
The creature himself is evil, but like he isn't, which it seems pretty cool. But like the actual like logic behind it, like you would burn at literally you would just be on fire all the time.
Yeah, does D&D Beyond stop you from making a tiefling paladin?
Hey, let me make a
probably
Goliath
not.
rogue.
I don't think so.
You want to talk about weird and broken? Because all those finesse weapons, you can either use your strength modifiers or you can use a dexterity modifier for, like daggers and rapiers and stuff. So to make a Goliath rogue, really, really, really strong rogue, is really weird and really broken. And it works really well with the dynamic of the character, but it's one of those ones that just doesn't make sense. Like to have like a 7 foot tall guy trying to sneak around through the shadows. Just don't look at me.
Hey, what you looking at?
What you looking at? And then he stops. It works because
he's intimidated.
Hides in one shirt that's like 2 sizes too small.
Look, a lampshade over your head. I am invisible.
But also, even with like Thieves' Cant with a rogue requires a higher level of intelligence, and Goliaths are naturally dim-witted just because of the way that their characters are built. So to have someone who studies Thieves' Cant that is also has really low intelligence, it's like I know it, but I don't know it.
There were pictures in this book at one point.
I know this. It's like I recognize these symbols. That's an A.
But so there is a couple things I do want to ask for the on the veteran side of DMing. So just a couple little rapid fire questions. As far as like being in person, do you prefer just having like a whole screen with like a map on it, or do you prefer having like the miniatures and like a whole board setup?
So when I first started DMing, I was all paper and pencil. I prepped everything all by hand, and I didn't have a laptop or my phone out. I had everything written down, ready to go, and all up in here.
He's all home.
I'm old school.
Yeah.
And I prefer nothing because I want to try to. It strengthens my storytelling abilities to be able to really draw a dynamic image. And then I also want my players to be engaged enough to where that they can keep up and follow along and also know their characters. So their incorporation into the story, into the game is a lot more in depth than if you're like, well, let me look at my figure and let me see if I can move it over here to see if that's enough feet. Like, no, it makes you think more outside the box and it makes you forcibly become more creative with your movement. For instance, one of the things that I did in Ivan's campaign that was never brought up, because daggers are a finesse weapon, I can, like I said, use them as either strength or as a dexterity modifier. You can use a dagger as a throwing knife or a throwing dart, and it keeps its level of damage, and you can use it as a strength.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. So,
which means that you can throw an item as a bonus action, and because it's a finesse weapon, you don't have to have it drawn already. You can draw it and throw it on the same bonus action. So, whenever I had about 10 to 20 feet distance, I would throw a knife as a bonus action, move, and then attack with my greatsword with leverage, and then you would get like a d6 worth of damage for the dagger, and then a 2d6s worth of damage plus 3 for the great axe.
So actually, I have a question about that. If that's the case, if you use that as a bonus action, couldn't you just walk up to them and then stab them with the dagger and then attack?
Technically, yes, but I need 2 hands to be able to wield my sword.
Oh, so that's why you try to go. Okay,
that's why I got you. Because if I wanted to wield my great sword, it would cut my damage in half, and I would only roll 1d6 plus 3.
Okay.
Yeah, that
makes sense.
That's actually very interesting too.
Yeah, he fucking he knows it all.
I wouldn't say all. I'm just have experience,
more knowledge.
Just like this all-knowing.
Well, there's still stuff that I'm reading about. Like I'm reading about this Juggernaut mage, basically, that has an arcane shield and another shield on top of it, so that I get like a +6 shield. And anybody that does melee damage to me, it refracts upon them, so I only take a quarter damage. And they immediately take a d5 worth of damage, no hit die, and no roll. No,
it's like having thorns
save
on your armor for Minecraft.
Yeah.
Thorn mail.
So if
Minecraft.
you have
League
the
of
spiked
Legends.
armor and you do the wrecking ball, because I know exactly what you're talking about, and if you lunge for that and you have those arcane shields on, if you try to like tackle and grapple someone with that spike armor and they try to use a reaction to attack, they take your grapple damage and they take that refractionary damage too.
Nice. But
So,
that kind of reminds me of when we were playing Talisman that one time. The really buff priest and the really smart warrior.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That shit was funny.
The buff priest. Yeah.
And like
Have you played Talisman before?
I've not.
Oh, you should play it.
Talisman's fun.
It's fun.
it's long, but
It is long.
Oh, it takes forever. It's like you need to set aside like 8 hours.
Well, it's
But
a
you
full
said-
game. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to do it takes
it's on Steam, so
so fun.
Yeah,
You know.
into it. But you said rapid fire questions, and that was just one. Did you have
Yeah.
another one?
yeah. Then like I see like you do you prefer more of like the homebrew stance, or do you take a lot of like inspiration, or just like you take a lot of like one shots or stories from like on the internet? You base off that?
A homebrew. Specifically homebrew.
Speaking of homebrew,
So I'm cooking up a really good idea. You guys like Star Wars, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Don't tell me. Say it ain't so.
I'm cooking an entire campaign with rules, classes, and arcs for a Star Wars campaign.
If you're
Pretty
doing that,
fucking
if you're
lit.
doing that, let me like video call in to play with that.
So the way that I'm going to be doing it is I'm going to build my own archetype categories. So I'm going to build a bounty hunter class, an engineering class, a barbarian, like heavy hitting, like RPG, like heavy hitting class, and then a force wielding class or a force sensitive class. Each individual things will have their own categories of different classes. Like for instance, the bounty hunter, I'm gonna combine some traits from the fighter and some traits from the ranger, and I'm gonna combine them. And then I'm gonna take the engineer, I'm gonna do like a wizard, and I'm gonna combine it with like an artificer and combine those two for an engineer. And then I'm gonna make like a barbarian and a cleric and combine those, or a paladin and a cleric, or a paladin and a barbarian, combine those to make the berserker, or the vanguard is what I'm going to call it. And then for the force sensitive one is literally what it means, but so that you're not overly powerful, I'm going to make you roll for your midichlorian count.
Ooh.
And I'm going to have a gradient scale. I'm going to make you roll a D100, and I'm going to have a scale, basically a percentage like filler. And based off of the number that you roll will give me a list of things that you can do out of 100 different things that you can do. Like if you roll a 1, you get like force pull. That's it. And then if you roll a 2, you get force pull and force push. If you roll 15, you get force pull, force push, and force jump, and so on and so forth.
Force lightning.
And then you get all these different things, and the higher you roll, the more. So it's going to be like Padawan stuff. It's going to be Jedi Knight stuff. It's going to be Jedi Master stuff. And then it's going to be Sith.
Oh,
so
the Sith stuff is like all the cool shit that we all want to do, right?
The Sith level is where you get
have those at the very top.
Yeah,
no, I was about to say, little funny thing. Sith is where you get the forced testicular contortion.
Unlimited power.
You got to roll a 100. You'd be like
twist
someone's nutsack.
That's. I'm trying to fit someone's tried that in the Star Wars universe.
I mean, hey, that shit probably
that's something that I would try.
Someone.
I think also with another question going off, as like a long-standing DM for WoW, I know it's like a question that like a lot of DMs would hate. With the Critical Role group, with like there are like 3 different DMs, is there a certain one that like you gravitate more towards, or you feel like you take a lot more inspiration from, like if you just listen to them?
I don't know him by name. I don't watch Critical Role that much.
Matt Mercer's the one and true DM.
Brandon's the short-haired white
he's
guy.
He's the voice actor, the one with the long hair,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's him.
McCree.
That's the guy that I watch primarily.
Yeah.
So he's probably, I wouldn't say he's like my true, and all of the stuff that I've learned over the period that I've done have been from watching, not watching any campaigns, but reading from the books themselves.
Ooh.
Like I read the rule books and all the different stuff. Like I love to read reference material. I don't know why. I prefer to read reference material over like novel stuff, just because it's an absorbent of information, I guess. Like I'll read a physician desk reference before I'll read like the Harry Potter series, just because it's just more interesting. Which sounds really weird when I say it.
But actually,
you guys know what a physician desk reference is?
No.
It's a big ass book that doctors know that has a whole bunch of modern medications in it, like dosing and side effects and stuff like that. Anyway, so I went and actually bought like the player's handbook and read the player's handbook. Then I bought the Dungeon Master Guide, and reference it back and forth. Then I read Xanthar's Guide to Everything, and then Tasha's Cauldron, and then started DMing, and then kind of learned from experience and like, oh shit, I don't know what to do in this circumstance. So then I reference back to the book. Or if I don't know that stuff, then I go online and look up stuff from like Reddit pages or from the actual D&D Beyond website and stuff like that. That's like specific to rules. So I don't really watch much Critical Role. I should, just because from a creativity perspective, but from like rules and understanding how the characters work, all came from the actual literature itself.
That's nice. And then, like, I think one more question that I have off the top of my head is, like, is there a certain type of player or play style that, like, you honestly despise that shows up, like, either once or twice in a session?
Chaotic Evil. I hate DMing for Chaotic Evil. And I'll explain why.
We have one Chaotic Evil.
So, when I start helping people build their characters for their game, for the game that I'm DMing, I ask a question. I don't ask them what their
Your alignment?
Yeah, their alignment is. I ask them a question instead. I says, your character is standing in the middle of a street where you see a boy stealing a loaf of bread from a baker. The boy runs from the baker past you along the street. What do you do? As your character.
Trip him and take his bread.
The way that you respond tells me what alignment you are.
Yeah.
See, that's
an interesting question.
That's very interesting.
And it's also good because I gave no information. I gave nothing. I literally just said a boy steals a loaf of bread from a baker and you're on a street. That's it. People who are a little bit more intuitive that actually like know the game, ask questions. I didn't say you couldn't ask questions like, is the boy poor? Is the baker rich? Are you in a really populated area? Are you on cobblestone? Like all these different questions to build the world around it so you can make a decisive decision shows me that you're going to be a more intuitive player. And then also depending on whatever they do, if they just let the boy go, they're just a neutral character. If they stop the boy, tell him what he did was wrong, take him back to the baker and make him return the loaf of bread, he's a chaotic, or he's a lawful neutral or a lawful evil character, I guess you could say, or lawful bad. If they take the boy back to the baker, explain what he did was wrong, pay for the actual bread, and then buy the boy another loaf of bread because he looks poorer, that's a lawful good character. And a chaotic evil character would kill the boy, take the bread, kill the baker, and take all of it.
Just kill everyone.
Just kills everyone. That's the gradient scale, and anything that you do in between tells me exactly what type of alignment you'll be, and it tells me how intuitive you're going to be in the game.
Yeah,
it's pretty lit.
Wow.
See, from like
very insightful.
From the little things that we've done, or at least like I've done too, because like Ivan said, like I hosted the last D&D game that we've all been a part of, and I wasn't to the effect of worrying about their alignment. I was more just because at the time I was going off of like a pre-built one of the I think it was like Ice Dragon or whatever story it was, right. And I was trying to base their characters that they described to me to get to the story and not kill them, but not kill them at the same time. Because like there were times like damn, I want to kill them. I killed Ivan's first character he ever played back. So
oh yeah. He literally killed me. That was what I was telling you, but I was the Dragonborn cleric.
Paladin. You said Paladin.
No, I was Paladin the second time.
Oh,
wait, no. Was I Paladin both times?
No,
I think I was cleric the first time, and then I became
first, and then Paladin second.
Yeah, I was a Dragonborn cleric.
And you died? You suck at being a cleric.
Well, he fucking
that's what I'm saying.
Nah, he killed me. Anyway,
if you're a cleric, it's gonna be hard for you to fucking die.
I never played any like healer type or any of that stuff.
You should play a warlord or a war cleric, I think is what they call them. Oh, yeah. They do a lot of elemental damage, and they also heal just like a little bit. They're like the top healers still, but they're like, so cleric and then paladins kind of like overlap a little bit.
Yeah.
War clerics are like right above a paladin when it comes to healing, but like do a lot more damage than a regular cleric does.
Okay. Yeah, but I died, and then I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna be someone who like can't die, so I became just a regular human paladin. I want to say.
Right.
Yeah, your first character was Amino, and then like Dorime.
Yeah,
and then Dorime.
But I had a lot of fun being paladin.
So that's another one of my pet peeves that I have whenever it comes people's names in the game. I am a big factor on people's names in games. Mm-hmm. I want them to be creative and unique, and I want them to create their own names so it allows with the immersion for the role playing.
Mine was made from memes.
Well, yeah. But still, it's still creative.
Yeah.
Like for someone to just go into the book, for someone to go into the book and just pick a name from the actual player's handbook is a little cheap for me.
Yeah.
That's what you mean. Okay.
Well, I guess mine had a little, well, not backstory, but do you know the meme of the rat, the holy rat? Like he's like T-posing.
Oh yeah.
And he's like that weird like Catholic sounding
Dorime,
whatever song.
Dorime.
Yeah. Some like Latin thing. He was like Dorime or something like that. It was like weird, but I did that because I was like a holy character, but I like memes. So that's what it was.
That's
I was a cleric.
But like you're
First of all,
like
for-
a
for Amit.
you're a Jedi cleric. That's like
Well, yeah. My religion was Jediism, but
That's also
but yeah, no, it was.
I don't know. It's not even really. It's just one of those things. It's just like we spent all this time building this character, fine tuning it for something completely unique, and it's like one of the most broken, like I don't know, Rangers or I don't know, Rogue, and you named him Dan. It's like what?
full name Danny.
It's
Full
like,
name
hey
Dan.
Dan, come over here and kill this guy or come pickpocket this person. I don't know. But I'm one of those weirdos that likes really complicated names too. Like my character's name. So I played a Dwarvish Paladin for the first time I got to actually play. And his name was Zarva Ulam Nuj Salam was his name.
Zarvan Unu Ushtalam.
Nice.
Zarva Ulam Nuj Salam.
Did you call him Z for short?
We called him Zar. We called him Zar. But his full title was Zarva Ulam Nuj Salam of the 9th century of Axelot.
Yeah, it's like a long.
Like it was like it just it's just was supposed to make you go, oh,
Me with
you
the
gotta
fear
be
of
kidding
long
me.
words.
Anyway,
Yeah, that's.
but with the chaotic evil, so I have a really funny story when it comes to that. So I was DMing for a chaotic evil character, and they were actually playing a fighter pirate. It was actually the archetype that they had picked, which is I think in Xanthar's Guide to Everything. I think it was a pirate. It's like right there next to samurai, but they were a chaotic evil character. And one of the things that they did is they were trying to find, they were being stalked by a scout, and they found the scout, and they tortured him for information, just
Let's
like
go.
usual, like beat him up, like tell us where everyone is, like that kind of stuff.
Let's
But
go.
this chaotic evil character continued to skin this character alive,
Let's go.
completely skinned him alive, nailed his skin to a tree, drew a pentagram on it with his own blood in the blood from the body, dug up a grave underneath the pentagram, buried the man still screaming alive, and then continued to kill a wolf and threw that into the actual grave, buried him, pissed on the grave, and then slept on the grave that night. I'm just sitting there going, I don't know how to react. So-
just in the grave, just muffled.
Right. Well, so because D&D is all about contrasts, risks, rewards, actions, reactions, consequences, and whatnot, both positive and negative. You do something good, you get a positive reaction. You do something negative, you get a negative reaction. I built an undead werewolf to hunt him
Nice.
for the
Nice.
entirety of the campaign. Unless he did like some specific ritual where he pulled the body out of the grave and like basically did this like holy water ritual with it. I built this really, really specific way to break the curse. Something that you would never figure out, but something that you would potentially figure out.
Taco.
Very cute cat cam.
But all right, so I guess we'll wrap this up. So that'll do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching, listening, depending on how you consume our podcast. Yeah, just please check the bio for all of our socials, all that good stuff. And y'all have anything else to say before we go?
Poop suck.
Activision is cringe and does not deserve.
Fuck Activision Blizzard.
Fuck Activision Blizzard.
Oh yeah, we almost missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck
I
'em.
wanted to squeeze that in at the end. That
Yeah,
was all.
no. Thank you for that. Yeah, we've been slacking. All right,
All right.
and with that, see you guys in the next episode.
Thanks for having me.
See you later, stinkies.
Bye.